Hey guys, welcome back to Simply Ham. In today's video, we're going to be collaborating with the one and only Random Ali. Random Ali is a pet tuber which mainly makes videos about her rabbit Odyssey, as well as some other videos like vlogs and piano videos. Make sure to check her out in the description below, and today we are basically going to be making a video comparing rabbits and hamsters with their similarities and differences. Some similarities will be in my video, some will be in hers, same with the differences. Anyways, I won't keep you guys waiting. Make sure to check out her channel in the description below, and let's get on with the video.
Regarding the lifespan of rabbits can live 8 to 12 years on average, but this is just an average number. Smaller breeds like Netherland dwarfs tend to live longer than larger breeds such as a Flemish giant.
On average, hamsters live 1.5 to 2 years. However, this heavily depends on species and genetics. It is known for Roborowski hamsters to lead a longer life than a Syrian hamster. However, it even more depends on genetics and health. If a hamster, for example, has been from a pet store, it is more likely to lead a shorter life than a hamster that has been ethically bred, because of genetics being better that way. Hamsters will pretty much always cost less than rabbits, mainly because they just don't need as much stuff. The average startup cost is around 100 to 200, sometimes a little bit more pounds, and that's mainly because they don't need so much stuff as a rabbit. The most expensive thing is a cage, and that generally does not cost more than around £80. The average will be anywhere from £20 to £120 though, depending on whether you get a DIY, used or brand new cage. You also need to spend money on toys, bedding, wheels, food, and any other thing your hamster will need, as well as the hamster itself, which one hamster generally will cost around £10 with an adoption fee. Weekly costs, a hamster doesn't really cost that much weekly, generally not much more than £10, mainly because you don't need to buy a hamster bedding or toys or food every month. It's just not needed because your hamster won't go through all of that in 1 month. I generally spend around £10 to £15 a month on Biscuit, just buying him like coconut soil, maybe a toy, and some treats. And that's pretty much it. You don't need to buy them something every month. I certainly don't. And obviously some months I pay a little bit more for bedding and food.
The initial startup cost can be anywhere from $200 to $300 Canadian dollars, with about $100 for an adoption fee, and then another $100 for bunny proofing supplies, cage, and whatnot else is needed. Monthly, I'd say that I'd spend around $50 for my rabbit, with only buying slightly over the bare minimum. This includes things like hay, food, and then fleece blankets, toys, and all that. And then vet fees can be over $100 yearly. Younger rabbits are going to have cheaper vet fees than older rabbits because they're less likely to have extreme problems. And also for younger rabbits, if they're not spayed or neutered, then that will cost an extra $100 to $300. Unlike hamsters, rabbits are herbivores and they require a diet of mainly grass hay. For adults, they require a diet of about 80% grass hay, such as timothy or orchard grass, about 15% veggies, and the last 5% is pellets or other treats. Rabbits should be getting around 1 cup of veggies per 2 to 3 pounds of body weight a day, and then about 1 tablespoon to 3 tablespoons of pellets for every 4 pounds of body weight a day. If your rabbit is a baby and under 6 months, their diet can vary a lot. For example, if your rabbit is under 2 months, they will still usually be eating alfalfa hay and their mother's milk, but as they grow older, they can transition off of alfalfa hay, and by the time they are 6 months, they should be on fully timothy hay. They should also get a varied amount of pellets depending on their age. When they are very young, they need lots of alfalfa pellets to help them grow properly with enough protein. But when they get older, it's time to wean them off the pellets because too much pellets can cause issues with their digestive tract. And when they are around 3 months old, it's time to start introducing veggies to the rabbit.
Contrary to popular belief, hamsters aren't actually herbivores. Instead, they are omnivores, meaning they can and will eat seeds, nuts, grains, animal proteins, and vegetables. They need all of this to survive and be healthy, because if you feed a hamster on a solely herbivore diet, they will slowly die of malnutrition. The recommended diet would have 17 to 20% protein, 5 to 7% fat, and 6 to 15% fiber. Most seed mixes that are commercial, however, do not have enough protein, and most lab blocks do not have enough variety, so the best option is getting a high variety seed mix and mixing it with a high variety lab block. There is the option of having a homemade diet, which needs to be well researched, however, because any imperfections can cause many health problems. Veggies should be given 2 to 3 times a week for health benefits and vitamins, and fruit and treats can be given once or twice a week as a sweet treat or in taming. Baby hamsters require more protein as they are growing, and older hamsters require more fibre to prevent any digestive problems. Don't you ever look at a hamster and think, aren't they lonely all by themselves in their own little cage, or wouldn't it be so adorable if 2 hamsters were cuddling together? Well, please never do this, because hamsters are strictly solitary, especially Syrians and Chinese. There are no bringing together in whatever circumstance you have. You cannot bring them together because they will fight and injure each other and sometimes even kill each other. There is a controversy whether you can have dwarf hamsters together, and whilst technically you could, it's very unrecommended and should only be done by experienced owners who know what they're doing and have facilities to separate them if needed.
Rabbits are extremely social animals as they descend from the European rabbit, which often live in pairs or more in the wild. Because of this, rabbits do best when they have a friend. Rabbits often are lonely and bored when they are without a friend, and having a friend really gives them a lot of enrichment. So, because of this, rabbits are very different from hamsters in the terms that they need a friend. Rabbit housing is a very debated topic, and one of the most debated topics is whether to house them indoors or outdoors. Personally, I think that it's fine to house them either way as long as they're secure and their enclosure is well enriched. Free roaming is an option that lots of people also debate on, and some people think that they shouldn't keep their rabbits in a cage and should only free roam. Personally, it's fine to not free roam, I think, as long as your cage is large enough and that they get enough space outside of their cage to run around and time to run around every day. This means that they can have lots of time to play so they can get all their exercise that they need. My personal recommendation for one rabbit is a 16 square foot dog exercise pen, and this is at the smallest. You never want to go anything smaller than that, in my opinion, because you can't really fit everything that a rabbit needs with enough room for them to run around. I would recommend more than 20 to 30 square feet if you can, but I'd say 16 square feet is a good bare minimum.
When it comes to housing options, there really aren't that many for a hamster. The only really option is an indoor secure cage. However, when it comes to the type of cage, there's a lot to talk about. First, and the most importantly, is the size. All over the world, there are many different minimums of what a hamster cage should be, and they range anywhere from, sadly, 200 square inches all the way to 1,000 square inches. The most commonly followed one, however, is the American minimum of 450 square inches. There is also the UK minimum, which is 600 square inches, and the German minimum, which is 800 square inches. It is recommended that you always have a cage of above 800 square inches of floor space if possible. However, 450 square inches is the bare minimum. Even though some countries don't recognize this as the bare minimum and think that cages can be a smaller size, your hamster will be extremely distressed and unhappy in a smaller cage. The cage shouldn't be tall because hamsters aren't great climbers, and if they fall they could seriously injure themselves, and also some countries require there to be some sort of outside of cage area which your hamster can either access at all times or sometimes when they want to. Each hamster will look different, and there won't be 2 hamsters that look alike. However, all hamsters have small little beady eyes, a tiny little pink nose, long whiskers and small ears and small feet, as well as a little stub for a tail. They generally have quite short fur, however some hamsters that are long-haired will have longer fur, and the iconic hamster is a ginger hamster or a cream hamster. However, hamsters, especially Syrians and Russian dwarfs, come in so many different coat colorings and varieties, it's crazy. Chinese, Robos and Winter Whites generally come in one similar color.
The appearance of rabbits is much different than the appearance of hamsters. Rabbits are much larger than hamsters, ranging from 2 pounds or more, and they have a pear-shaped body, and the fur length can vary depending on what type of rabbit they are. They have long ears in proportion to the head and the body, and those ears can be straight up lopped or one lop and one straight up. They have long whiskers, a long body with relatively short legs, and a tail. Rabbits are good jumpers, but they are not good climbers, and they have very strong back legs. Rabbits' sleeping pattern is often described as crepuscular, which means that they are most active during the hours of dawn and dusk. Rabbits can easily adjust the schedule of a human if needed, which is a diurnal schedule, and rabbits will be able to sleep through the night and play throughout the day if they are getting used to that schedule.
Just like rabbits, hamsters are crepuscular. However, you may hear some people call them nocturnal. The way this works is that in the wild, hamsters would naturally be crepuscular due to the daylight cycle. However, because of the artificial lightings we have in our homes, hamsters end up more nocturnal in captivity, mainly because the daylight cycle doesn't really exist. It doesn't slowly go dim, it just goes dim at one point when you turn your lights off. Hamsters don't really adjust to a certain cycle like rabbits could. However, I do see that hamsters do generally wake up around the time you feed them. And that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this quite lengthy video, and make sure to go check out Random Ali's channel in the description below. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!